a great man, Gautama Buddha. Gautama Buddha is one of the greatest men the world has known.
He was a reformer. He was kind to men and animals. Anyone who saw him at once became his follower. Kings and common people honored him. Gautama Buddha was born as Prince Siddharth of Kapilavastu, now in Nepal. At his birth, the astrologers predicted that he would either be a great emperor or a great ascetic.
We celebrate his birthday as Buddha Purnima.
Siddhartha was a kind young man.
He observed that the world was full of pain.
He looked for a way of removing the sufferings of people. He left his home when he was 29 years old and became a wandering monk. After leaving home, Prince Siddhartha reached Rajgriha, the capital of the great kingdom of Magadha, modern Bihar. He was now living as a wandering ascetic. He had cut off his beautiful curly locks and given away his gorgeous silken robes and precious jewels. He was dressed in ordinary saffron robes worn by those who had renounced the world. Even as a monk, Siddhartha looked impressive. He was extremely handsome, and his face and body seemed to shine with a golden glow. He was tall and well built. His voice was deep and powerful, yet sweet and pleasant. The look on his face was serene and dignified. He had a small group of followers with him. He used to beg for his food. He held a bowl in his hand and stood in front of a house with his arm outstretched. He did not ask for food, but waited for a few minutes and moved on to another house. Each day, he accepted food only from one household. Everyone who saw him was struck by his magnificence. People followed him just to have a longer look at him or hear him speak. They spoke to each other about him and urged everyone to meet him, for he did not seem an ordinary monk. They kept a respectful distance as they did not wish to annoy him. Some soldiers of Bimbisara, the king of Magad, saw him and went to the palace to tell the king about this extraordinary man. They said,
"O king, there is a monk newly arrived in the city who is no ordinary human being. He seems to be divine. Such is the glow on his face and body. We cannot say if he is a god or a man. He is surely a great being."
King Bimbisara was interested. He decided to look for himself. He went to the roof of the palace. He saw the young ascetic and his marvelous look. He told his soldiers,
"Follow him and find out more about him. If he is not a man, he will vanish as soon as he leaves the city.
If he is a god, he will vanish in no time.
If he is a human being, he will eat the food that is given to him."
Siddhartha went to the river and had a bath. Then he climbed a hill and ate his food sitting on a rock outside his cave. The soldiers reported this to King Bimbisara. He decided to meet him. Siddhartha was sitting under a tree when Bimbisara met him. He saluted the young ascetic and said,
You are surely a man of high birth. The harsh life of an ascetic is not for you. I shall give you a high office in my court. You can be my minister and advise me.
Siddhartha smiled and said,
You are gracious, O king, but I do not desire any high office. I have renounced the world.
You are so wise. My heart is filled with love and respect for you, noble sir. I am willing to share my throne with you. You will be the co-ruler of Magad with me.
King Bimbisara said. Siddhartha laughed out loud. He said in his deep voice,
If I had desired a throne, I would not have left my own kingdom. I am Siddhartha, son of the Shakya king, Shuddhodhan of Kapilvastu.
Why did you leave home, noble sir?
King Bimbisara asked.
This world is nothing but full of misery. Every creature is unhappy. Whatever happiness is there does not last. I am seeking a path which will free men of their misery. I am seeking enlightenment.
Your words, your manners inspire great faith in me. Promise me, sir, that when you have found enlightenment, you will come to my kingdom and enlighten me and my people.
Bimbisara requested. Siddhartha smiled gloriously and promised. He remained in Rajgriha for some more days meditating. Then he left to become the disciple of Alara Kalam, a famous teacher. He learned everything that his teacher had to teach him, but was not satisfied. He went to other teachers. They were all very impressed with his calm, dignified behavior and his extraordinary ability to learn. He withdrew into a deep forest and lived a life of great austerity. Siddhartha realized that causing pain to one's body and remaining hungry would not take him near enlightenment. He accepted food from the villagers and continued to meditate.
Finally, on a full moon night in summer, sitting and meditating under a tree, Siddhartha attained enlightenment.
He became Buddha, the enlightened one. The day of his enlightenment is known as Buddha Purnima. The tree under which he sat is known as Bodhi tree, and the small town nearby as Bodh Gaya. Lord Buddha kept his promise to Bimbisara. He went to Rajgriha and gave sermons to Bimbisara and his people. Bimbisara gifted the Venuvana or the bamboo forest for his disciples. Gautama Buddha preached for over 45 years. His doctrine spread not only in India but outside too, to the east and west.